larger clay this time. But you might find that it's a little awkward in your hands because it is larger. If you find it's too big, then you just can kind of like pinch off a piece so it's a little bit smaller. I find having a piece that fits into your hand works a little bit better, but if it's like really large, it gets kind of awkward. All right, first thing you're gonna do is take your clay and using some force, you're gonna round it off. You are not going to roll it on the table. You're gonna use your hands to do it.
I remember I did that.
All right, once you have a nice round sphere-ish shape, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but it's round enough. All right.
I haven't seen it.
We're going to take our thumb and you're going to put it straight into the middle of the piece. All right. And you want to work between your hands so that you can feel where your fingers are inside against your hand here so that you don't push all the way through. If you put this onto the table, then a lot of times what happens is you end up pushing all the way through the clay because you can't feel how thick the clay is. Now for it to be a pinch pot, we're going to start to pinch. So we're going to gently pinch the clay between our fingers and our thumb. And as you see, as you gently pinch, the hole starts to open. All right, a little bit at a time. The faster you work, the more the clay is going to stretch in ways that you don't want. So you want to control it. Once you have it open, then what I like to do is hold in the palm of my hand here and begin to use my thumb on the inside to gently push. And you want to start near the bottom. You want to start like kind of deep inside there, and that's where you're going to start to shape first so that your extra clay is always going to end up around the upper lip. Many times students will pinch the top part, you know, get really, really thin, and they'll still have like this much clay in the bottom, and it's harder to get that out. So we want to just begin to work clay a little bit at a time, and you want to be patient about it. Kind of keep it moving, and then you can use more than one finger. You kind of have to figure out like what's going to be most comfortable for you. Now, this might not be the shape that you want it yet, but that's okay. The idea right now is to stretch the clay into a piece. All right, so this is the beginning of a pinch pot. All right, it's still really thick, especially here.
Can I have it?
No. All right. So I made a couple of demonstrations. All right. The first day, the reason why we don't spend a lot of time, like you're not going to add like all your extra details on the first day, is that the clay is still really soft, and it's going to be too flexible to add other stuff. You try to start like building something crazy, it's going to start to collapse. So once you get to a piece like this, you guys can kind of see how the walls are. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. Once you get your pieces the way you want them, then you want to set them aside and wrap them up, and then tomorrow they should be a little bit stiffer. Otherwise they're really thin. As you work with this, if you don't want it to be round, you can tap it on a flat surface or use some of the tools we have to flatten out the sides. You can also use some of the tools to begin to slowly stretch and open it. Again, this is clay that I did something with this morning, so it might rip because it's still a little, almost like too fresh. You have to kind of work with this in pieces. All right, let me see here.